As students progress through the grades, the texts that they are asked to read and comprehend become more dense and more complex. How can we effectively engage students in complex texts in ways that allow them to be successful? That's coming up in this video. Hi everyone, I'm Lee Hoff from Literacy Teachers, and I'm all about giving you the tools you need to inspire, motivate, and change how your students read and write for academic success. If you're new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button so that you get notifications because I put out new videos each week. So today's question is, how can we effectively engage students in complex texts? And I think the thing to keep in mind here is that as students are progressing through the grades, the text in their subject matter, in their disciplines, is getting harder and harder to read, okay? Now, we can spend a lot of time on this, and we will be spending more time on this, but what I want to do for this video is give you 5 things that you can focus on to help students more effectively engage and comprehend complex texts in your discipline. All right, so the first thing is teach academic vocabulary. Now, you're probably already doing this. I just want to put it out there as a reminder. Because obviously, right, as students are reading in these different disciplines, they're reading biology, they're reading geometry, they're reading in history, whatever the discipline is, it's going to have very specific terms, okay? And students are going to need some explicit instruction on what those terms mean, all right? So identifying those terms in the beginning and helping students learn or at least know where to go to get access to the definitions when they run across it in their reading, that's going to help engage them and give them some greater access to these complex texts. Number 2, you want to assess students' prior knowledge, okay? Because prior knowledge or lack thereof can be a help or a hindrance in comprehending complex texts, okay? So if students are missing really important pieces of prior knowledge about whatever it is you're having them read, they're probably not going to be able to understand it very well, or they're going to have a very limited understanding, okay? So if you can figure out what students don't know that's important for them to know, and then address that, fill in those gaps a little bit, do a little bit of a review about key pieces of knowledge before they start reading a text, that's going to make it more accessible to students. And then another tip is number 3. This is for you. Engage in a think aloud on a portion of difficult text. So take a piece of the text that students are going to be reading. Well, actually, it doesn't even matter what text. Just take a piece of really difficult text in your discipline and do a think aloud on it. Walk through, start reading it out loud. Talk about the things that you're running into, that you're struggling with when you get to a specific term and you don't know the meaning of it. Stop and go find out the meaning and come back. Think about, make visible for students the cognitive processes that you are engaging in as you're going through the text. This will help them sort of understand what's normal, okay? What kinds of things can they expect, all right? Number 4, teach students how to use text structures and text features, okay? What are text structures? Text structure is learning how a text is organized. If you understand how texts are organized, where main ideas are presented, how facts are presented, anything like that, right? How it is put together, that's going to help students be able to find information quicker. It's going to help them know what to pay attention to and how to pay attention to things. Text features are things like headings, table of contents, graphs, charts, any sort of visual, pictures, captions, things of that nature that students might minimize or often skip over, okay? So doing a lesson that shows them, teaching them about text features, and if you've got middle and high school students, obviously they're gonna have been exposed to these things, okay? They've seen them before. But what you might wanna do is remind them of the importance, right? And also connecting those text features back to text structure. Right? We know that authors put headings in for specific reasons to organize or structure information in specific ways. Highlighting that, pointing that out to students, showing them how it's used, showing them how they can use that to understand the text better will help. And then finally, tip number 5, allow students to work together on complex text. So you don't have to read and understand everything by yourself. That's just not how the world works outside of school, right? So it's perfectly fine to have students read a text or preview a text or skim a text, get together in groups and talk about it, okay? Bring your questions, bring the things that you didn't understand, right, to group, and let somebody bounce these ideas and questions off of somebody. What did you find that was confusing? What are some words that you did not understand and you read the definition but you can't figure it out? Bring that to your small group and talk it through. This act of talking through text, hearing what other people think about it, their interpretations, will increase each student's own interpretation as well. All right, so those are 5 tips for helping students gain greater access to understanding and comprehending complex text. And it might sound like a lot of work, but the truth is it is a lot of work, okay? But it is one of those things that if you decide, well, I don't have time for it, and you skip over it, students probably still aren't going to understand the text to, any better than, so you want to be able to do things that are going to at least increase their access and allow them to at least be a little bit more successful, all right? So thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe so you can catch all my videos. And while you're at it, let's talk about complex text in the comments area, right? Head down to the comments, talk to me about what kinds of text are you using with your students, what kinds of problems are they having, what are the techniques that you're using that you're finding success with, where are you struggling, so that we can support one another and help each other move forward with our journey.